Good afternoon, everyone. It's Anifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, my contemplative time has been all about the act of giving. And I believe that some of the reason that my mind was on this today, or is on this today, is because Christmas is over. And of course, a lot of people tie their giving time to Christmas time. And of course, then there's post-Christmas sales. There's a lot of giving in that time, or getting, right? And I think, and getting for the self, or exchanging, or, right, that's that giving. And of course, even in terms of charities, when we look at how much charities bring in around Christmas time, there's a lot of spirit of giving in that time. So here we are after Christmas and we're into February, and some people's minds might be very aware of Valentine's Day around the corner, and I certainly am. And certainly I'm sure our advertising is full of Valentine's ideas. And people are thinking about giving to the people that they love, right? So some people will give to their parents, some people will give something to their children, but most often people are giving to their partners in this time. And it's interesting, right? Because again, this is based on this established time of celebration, which is a great time to give, but of course, any time is a good time to give, right? And then, of course, people are also in different energies based on their own circumstances. So perhaps they cannot give as much, and perhaps they're hoping that their partner will give them just as much, or maybe a little bit more. And maybe it's the awareness of, oh, I gave this last year and they didn't give me much, so I won't give as much this year. So that sort of thinking is very, very common in our society, right? So I came across a few quotations that I thought I'd share with you. And the first one is by Winston Churchill, and I think this was very well put. He says, "We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give." We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. So a lot of times people will not give, even to their own health. I will say that certainly in terms of my practice, of course, it's not covered by insurance. And a lot of times people feel, oh, I get a lot from Hanifa, but I don't know if this is the right time to give, right? And it's not about me getting for making my living. It's about the giving that is received, hopefully by clients. That would be my circumstance. But of course, people think about, I can't give to myself because I don't know if I'm getting enough money this month to pay for something, and it can be anything. And again, healthcare is one unique category in Canada specifically, because a lot of our healthcare is covered, and that's for our basic appointments. And then, of course, even insurance covers a lot of complementary medicine, and so that's covered. And again, people think about, do I have enough in what's covered? Am I getting enough to give my time to this, right? So very interesting concept. Let me just think about life in general, right? So again, I talked about charities, and we'll give at a time, let's say even Christmas, when people will give sometimes quite generously donations to foundations and organizations that are doing really great work, but they're giving because they're getting a tax receipt. So remembering these sorts of ideas that, oh, this will actually decrease the amount that I have to pay on my taxes because it's a taxable donation that I'm making. And very important or useful to think about, why do we do what we do? Is it for what I can get from something that I give? Or is it because I want to give because there's some benefit in giving, right? And usually this pure giving space is purely for the other side. Purely for the other side. It's not with the because, and hopefully they'll do something for me tomorrow, right? That, not like that, or next week, or at my birthday time they'll get me something if I get them something for their birthday. Okay, you know, I just went through my birthday and no one has gone through that experience with me, thank goodness, as I know that I actually encourage people not to get me gifts, because giving from the heart of just a mental space, or checking in, or just writing a happy birthday on my social media means so much to me, especially when it's from the heart. It's not just, I better say this, it's that I want to say this, and I can feel the energies that come to me, and I love that experience. So then I thought it was a really good quotation that I came across very soon after, which was by Mother Teresa. And it's about because people start thinking about giving, doesn't that involve money? Like, I gotta think, do I have enough money for this? So, like I said, Christmas time, oftentimes people will put aside some money to spend on Christmas expenses, sometimes for donations, and sometimes even their time. They're giving their time, right? Because I got to see my family, is what I hear a lot. Or I want to see my family, and I will give the time to my family at this time because it's Christmas. So, again, somewhat conditional, right? Then I came across this quotation by Mother Teresa, and she says, "It is easier to give a cup of rice to relieve hunger than to relieve the loneliness and pain of someone unloved." The loneliness and pain of someone unloved. And I work with grief recovery, and there are so many people that have a very good cover for loneliness or pain. And again, remembering that this falls into a grief category, but you would be able to see this in your own life too, right? So oftentimes we will be very happy around the people that mean a lot to us because we care about how they feel, and that can be a space of giving. And then sometimes we let the guard down and we say, oh, but this is happening, right? And now we've actually shared some concern. We've given a little bit of concern to the other side. And sometimes it's beautifully shared and supported and worked through, and you feel so much better. And then can you give a place of loving appreciation, right? Now remember, again, we can give to charities or we can give to each other in terms of food, for example, to relieve hunger, but to really connect with the heart space, which is relieving someone else's suffering in some way. So it could be loneliness, it could be sadness, it could be grief, it could be the sense of loss. And you might know about a friend or family member that is going through something. It could be an illness. And again, sometimes we're giving in those times, but sometimes it feels like, oh, they're calling again. And why do they need to check in with me again? So that sort of feeling, and I'm overloaded already with so many places that I'm giving to. Are you giving to the places that you were getting something from? Would be something to ask yourself, right? So I give to my work because I'm making some money from this. Could be, but that also helps me pay my bills, right? And that's good, but then it's not a purely selfless space to come from, right? So really important to think about these things, as I'm hoping, as we're going into the weekend, because the space of giving, even on Valentine's Day, see where your space of giving is coming from. Is it giving to give out of love and kindness and consideration, or is it giving because this person is my partner and so I should give? So other people better not get my time or attention because I'm going to give all of my time and attention to my partner. And that can be a mutual decision between you and your partner, but there might be some awareness of someone who is not in a space of receiving in that time. And maybe you can give in those moments to even one person who you know might be lonely, who might be suffering, who might be a little bit sad. And I would encourage this. And I thought I would finish this with one more quotation. This one is by John D. Rockefeller Jr., and this says, "Think of giving not as a duty, but as a privilege." Think of giving not as a duty, but as a privilege. So I also speak with people who often say, I should call my friend because they're going through something, or I think I will because I haven't contacted them or written to them or spoken with them, and I should do this. Now, many of those people that I speak to are doing it because they actually want to share what's going on in their life. So there's not really the interest in hearing, is my friend or family member or anyone okay? Are they okay? That's why I'm reaching out to them. It's more about, will you listen to me? So this is why this video this week is all about what's in it for me, which again is a different space for giving, right? And if you can come from a space of more, what can I give? What can I give to you? That's a true space of giving, and not with any egoic attachment of because I will get something good from this in the future. So I wish you a fantastic day ahead and a weekend ahead too, thinking about this and think happily about it. Because if you discover that, wow, I really do only give when I'm looking forward to getting something, laugh about it. Laugh about it. It's so human nature. And I'd love for you to be amused about this natural tendency that many people have, and maybe bring your mindful attention into an awareness that you can do things a little different today or tomorrow or Valentine's Day. I hope you have a fantastic day ahead, and I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day, everyone.